Hi everyone, this is Michelle Hale, your East Bay Stamp Chick and your Fun Stampers Journey coach. And I just wanted to show you something new today. We have this really cute pop-up diorama card. And we did this with our set sale. It's our new stamp set. And so this is our cover. This is the front of your card. Opens up and you can see we have this really great little cutout that you can, let me bring it closer. You can see we have the little ship and the birds, super cute little scene here with a really great quote. Life's roughest storms prove the strength of our anchors. Okay, so really cute little three-dimensional card. So that's what I want to show you today. And like I said, we did it using the set sale stamp set. And this is brand new. This is actually our Bloom Box stamp set for June. So we have a monthly Bloom Box, that's hard to say, subscription. So you can every month get a box that comes to you with an instruction booklet that shows you 4 different cards, and it's all in color, shows you how to make each card and all the pieces that you're going to need to make those cards. You get envelopes, and then you get 4 pre-cut kits for your card, and then you get an exclusive stamp set. So every month is different. And you can join the Bloom Box and get it auto shipped to you every month, or you can go a la carte and just pick out the ones that you particularly like. And then we even sometimes have stamp sets available from old Bloom Boxes, but you would not get the card kit. So it's a fun thing. I love getting it every month in the mail because it's like Christmas. I get this box and there's something new in there, and it's an exclusive stamp set. We typically are going to have these stamp sets available for about 3 months. So this is June. So we'll have this available July, August, and September. You just won't be able to get the card kit, but you can get the set. And there's actually matching dies for this as well. So it is called Set Sale. It has 17 stamps, so you get everything that you see here. And the code number is SS-0618. Okay, and that's what we're going to use today. So this card, I used our Blue Lagoon paper and a whole bunch of different color inks. So today I have pre-cut a few things for us, and I did it in the Catalina Splash. Okay, so let me walk you through how we get the base of this card. All right, this piece of paper right here is 5.5 inches tall, and it's 10 7/8 inches long. Okay. Your card, once it is complete, it's actually kind of a cute little card because it will be 3 1/4 wide and it'll be 5.5 tall. Okay, so a little bit smaller than your standard A2 size, but it's super cute because it's just so small. So once you cut out your sheet, again, that is going to be 5.5 this way and 10 7/8 this way. You're going to want to use your scoreboard or your trimmer to score it. So I have the Fun Stamper Journeys trimmer board, and we have a score blade, so I can pop that on and run it through, and it has this really great grid on here and your measurements, so I can score things really easily. So where do you want to put your score lines? This little pop-up area is 3/8 of an inch right here. This is 3/8 of an inch in depth. So what that means is this first score line right here is at 3/8 of an inch. Okay, then from this line to this line is going to be 3 1/4 inches, and that is how wide your card is. So this panel is 3 1/4, this panel is 3 1/4, and this panel is 3 1/4 inches wide. All your little pockets, basically, your little groove where we're going to create the 3-dimensional piece, these are 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so this first one was at 3/8. Then I measured from this score line to this score line at 3 1/4. Then I measured 3/8 of an inch and did that one. 3 1/4, did a line, 3/8, did a line, okay? And that is how you're going to score it. So that way it will fold up like this, okay? The next piece that I did was I cut the circle. And what I did is I just took a die circle that I thought was a great size, and I put it where I wanted and ran it through my machine. And if you'll notice in the one that I already made, I put white panels that I decorated and stamped onto each section. So you're going to want to cut some panels. Now you can decorate right on here. You can stamp right on each of these fronts if you want. That's totally fine. You're just going to need to make sure that you do it before you glue it together, so that way it's flat and it's easy to stamp right on the surface. You don't want to be stamping while it's puffed up. Okay, so your choice. So we're going to need to cut some white cardstock, which is whipped cream cardstock. I use the Fun Stamper Journey products. So our cardstock is 80 pounds, which I love because when you're making these fun cards, it really gives you some good weight to your card. And then when you start adding some layers, it makes it nice and durable. So I only wanted a small border because this is a small card. So I cut this, took basically 1/8 of an inch off. So the front panel and the inside panel with the circle cut out is 3 1/8 inch wide and 5 3/8 inch long. So I cut 2 of these, and then I cut a piece that is going to go right here underneath the circle. Okay, and so that little piece doesn't really matter too much what size you cut it, as long as it covers the circle. So this one is 3 inches by 4 1/4, and I think I just had this scrap laying around, and that's why I chose it, because it was already pre-cut and ready to go. But like I said, you can do the exact size or something smaller. As long as your circle is covered, then that's all that matters. Okay? All right, so let's start looking at how we're going to put this card together. First of all, we want to do kind of all of our fun stuff before we actually assemble the card. So let me show you how I did the front. And this is, you know, white paper, and I wanted it to kind of have the water look and to be kind of a light blue color. So I took our Pool Play, and I'm just took an acrylic block that you normally would put your stamps on, and the grid side is down. So this is the smooth side. And so I am just going to put a lot of ink on here, and this is a light color, so you're not going to really see it too much, but I'm going to ink this up. And this is like a really easy way to add color and to create some interest with it. Okay, I'm going to take my cardstock, my whipped cream, I'm going to lay it on there. And I'm actually going to take a little scrap paper here, lay that on top, and grab a little block and smooth that out. And all I'm doing is pressing the ink onto this whipped cream cardstock. And it's going to give us the cool Pool color, but it's all, or the Pool Play color, I'm sorry, Pool Play color, but it's going to give us some nice variation too. So it'll kind of look like water and sky. It won't be perfect, but it'll give us some color. And you can add additional, like this top part kind of doesn't, you know, have quite enough for me. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more on there. We'll just add a little more going down. But I love like all the highs and the lows, because it makes it just look interesting. And you can rub this in with your fingers. So this is just an easy way to use the block. But if there's some part that you know you really want to get, you can take your fingers and just rub it in. Sometimes I like to use the paper because it keeps my fingers cleaner, so I don't get ink all over them. All right, so perfect. So I got a little bit more color there. I like that a lot better. All right, so we want to do that. We're going to ink this up again because we need to do the inside panel that is going to go under the circle. I've actually already inked the one on the outside too, so we can speed this up so you're not sitting here watching me do this the whole time. Okay, so this is our little one. All right, I'm gonna grab my scrap paper again and rub that all over. And we'll see what that looks like. Oh, I like that because this is going to be mostly sky. I think that looks really pretty. Kind of looks like there's some soft clouds in there. So then you definitely want to make sure you clean off your block because you've got ink all over it. We want to keep that clean so when you use it you don't transfer ink. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we need to do a little stamping, and we're going to do our front. So let's put that one away, and now we're going to bring out Catalina Splash. That will be our next color, and we're going to do the waves. Okay, so let's bring the card back out here. There we go. So you can see the waves that we have, and I already cut a few out that have for the front, for those popped up ones. And just so you can see, I'm going to bring this up closer, but you can see there's like a little bit of a glisten to it, a little gel, and I wanted it to look kind of shiny like water does. Okay, so what I did is I added our Fun Stamper Journey glaze. I'll bring this up a little closer so you can see that. This is a really great product because it dries really quick, but it is a, you can use it as a glue, you can use it as like a gloss, and it just really adds a lot of dimension to whatever you're doing. So let me grab that stamp and we'll do that. So now we have like this really, nice variation of blue, okay? And we want to add in these waves. Let me get that on there better, a little more centered. And so this is totally up to you how you want it to look, where you want it to end. I like to kind of just, put them half on, half off kind of a thing. And I think that'll be my last one. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of the water look. And I have the bottle pre-stamped and cut out. Okay, and I did this on vellum, and so anytime you're working with the vellum, you do want to make sure you heat set the ink so that way it doesn't smudge, because it's hard to dry on the vellum. So this one has been heat set. It says let your dreams set sail. I took a little bit of our journey thread and tied that on there, which I thought was really cute. And we're going to put it at an angle. And then we're just going to stamp two little seagulls, which I'm using the River Stone for all the seagulls today. And let me grab my seagulls and we'll put that on the block here. And I kind of like to lay that on there so I kind of know where I want them. And of course you can always add more if you want to. All right, and then these pieces will be on foam squares that you're going to glue on. Okay, so we would just put those with foam squares. Now what I love about using the foam squares is not only does it make it dimensional, but it hides sometimes where I'm going to glue stuff too. So vellum, you can see through, so it's hard to use like a foam square or anything like that on there. So by putting those over, we can then put glue and things underneath and nobody will see them. Okay, so it's a nice way to hide that. All right, so let me just grab some foam squares. There they are. Okay. Couldn't find them for a minute. So I'm just going to put a couple on. And then I'm just going to use our Journey glue to glue the little bottle on. Okay, so this is our Journey glue. It's a craft glue. It's a white glue, but it works great. Holds everything really well. So I'm going to put some little bit on the tip. And let's get this where we want it. And then I'm going to take the wave. Now ours dries clear, so when that dries you won't be able to see the craft glue, but it's a great way to cover it up in case you're using a different glue that does show. And then I'm going to put the next glue, I'm just going to put a little bit right there because that won't be seen. And then I'm also going to put a little bit where that twine is. Okay. And you don't need much to hold it in place, that'll be fine. Now the other item that I put on the front of this card is, stagger that just a little bit. There we go. The other item that I put on are these right here. And those are the rainbow drops, and they come just like you see here. And I love this case because this is an amazing case. You can do a lot with it once you finish your rainbow drops. And then it has these little sliding mechanism, and you, come on, oh, there we go, pop it open. It's got a little acetate sheet to keep everything in place. I use the smallest ones. There are 3 sizes, small, medium, and large in here, and I just used a little bit of our craft glue to adhere those on the corners. So totally optional, depends if you want those or not. So this front piece is done, but we are not going to glue it on yet, okay? We need to do some other pieces first, okay? One of the things we do need to do is we need to stamp our sentiment, okay? And I'm just using the black licorice for that. So you want to stamp it now while it's flat. Right there. And then we had a little anchor. Super cute, some of these little stamps that we have here in this set. And there's the anchor. And put that right there. There. Okay, so we've got that in there. The next piece is going to be your background. We need to do that. So we're going to take some of the glue. Let me get this going here. We have 2 tips. One side is a skinny tip for details, and then one side is the fat tip for big areas. And you can use tape if you wanted to. It's up to you. I like using the glue because it gives you just a couple of seconds to set it in place. If you wanted to slide anything around, it gives you a little bit of time versus when you use tape, sometimes you are stuck once you put it down. So just makes it a little bit more forgiving. So I am putting some foam squares onto our little ship that we had. And I have cut him out and colored the little ship. Super cute little ship here. So that way we can put that in our diorama. Also, you'll see that there's a little wave that's in there. And the wave is actually glued on here, which is another reason we want to do this first. So I'm going to close that so I can see where it is. Okay. We also need to put a couple of birds in there. Let me get my ink back out here. Which color did we use? All right, so let's see here. I'm just looking at my ink for the color and I totally can't see it. Oh well. So we'll just use a different color. That's totally fine. We'll use this one. Okay. So I apologize, you're probably just seeing a lot of my arm and not a lot of anything else going on. All right. So I've got my birds on here. And put them right there. Okay. Yep, and you can see those. All right. So lastly, we need to add our waves for right there. And this is going to go, I'm going to glue it right on. So I just want to, right about there. Use the skinny tip. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little paper towel because I got a little extra glue there. All right, and I'm going to slide that up, yeah, right there, because I just want to make sure we can see that and it covers the edge of the boat. And see, this is why I love using the glue, because it lets me move things around. Versus tape, it is stuck. So the last piece, big piece, is we have this one to put down. And what I did with this white panel is once I die cut the circle on the blue panel, the Catalina Splash, then I held up my white piece and I used a pencil to kind of draw a few little tracing marks as to where I want it, so that way when I put the die, I knew where it would line up. So that makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to add some glue. Okay. Get this done. So we've got our glue on there. It's a little close to the edge. Now I already stamped this, okay, so we wouldn't have to spend time. Did the blue background the same using the pull play and pressing it on, and then just use some of those cute little stamps that we have on here to create the little sea scene. And then I am just going to line up the circle, because that's important. And if we line up the circle, pretty much everything else lines up. Okay, so easy, right? And we need to add our whale. And on the whale, what I did is I again used our Journey Glaze. I just put it on the black area, so that way his skin looked all glossy and shiny like a real whale. You know how you can, their skin just always looks so glossy. So we would glue that on there, and then we're just going to glue the side. Him on there. I think I'm going to take him down just a little bit because I don't want him covering up all that water. There we go. this around. I'm gonna make sure we get a nice hold. Going to hold it like this, and you can, take your crease tool and go in there and just flatten that out and make sure we got that adhering really good. Okay. Gonna have to let that set just a few minutes, and then you would be able to put on your cover. Okay, and again, you can add on those wonderful little jewels if you want to, or leave them off your choice. Those are rainbow drops. Okay, and it's all set. So once this glue adheres and we glue the top on, then it will be all done. And you'll have this really fun little diorama. So cute little card, lots of fun to do. Thank you so much for watching me and do this card. And all the products are with Fun Stampers Journey. So you can find my page at funstampersjourney.com/mhale, or shoot me an email at eastbaystampchick@gmail.com. And if you like getting craft videos and you like knowing when I have a new video, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you on there. All right. Thank you so much. Happy crafting.